Mike, I'm going to go out on a limb here today. I'm going to start this show off with a grandiose statement. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Yourself and I are about to do the finest podcast that we have ever done.
Good.
Now I know that's not.
I'd say we're a bit overdue.
Not a huge bar to exceed after this first handful, but we're going to do it here today.
We're like the bad news bears of podcasting.
You got to get it right sometime.
Time to uncork one.
That's right. Well, we've got a new locale here. We're actually doing it from a scenic, semi-outdoor location.
Yeah.
I hope the acoustics agree with everybody.
Kind of jazzing it up a little bit, too.
This is beautiful. If we're lucky, some deer will run by down there, or maybe that guy with the lawnmower again will piss us off like he was doing an hour ago.
There's also groundhogs and rabbits and squirrels and chipmunks and a lot of birds.
Butterfly down there.
Probably snakes, too. I haven't seen any.
But anyway, welcome. It is Shoedogg and Mike. So, you know what they say, it's better late than never, man. It's been a while since our last show. But better late than never, just like your girlfriend's period, you're glad it finally gets here.
Well, for some.
For some, yeah. Well, that brings us to 2 orders of business. Look at him. Look at him. He's smiling. That's exciting. He's actually giddy about talking about this on the air. That's exciting.
Well.
So, Mike and your lovely wife, you have a baby on the way, not too far from now, yes?
Yeah, really sooner than I'm ready for, but equally as excited because once you've been a parent, the prospect of having a child is not as terrorizing to you as when you're like, what the fuck? There's liquids and stuff coming out of this thing. It's screaming. Oh, that's a new parent. But when you're not a new parent, I feel like you're kind of just like, yeah, there goes that again.
Or an old parent.
Well, yeah.
We all take care of one of them someday too, and it's about the same business. Things are just squirting out everywhere.
Well, now, see, if it gets to that point for me, I'm going to be paying somebody to do that shit.
You're throwing Jeff right in the home, aren't you?
No.
You're going to treat your dad like Grandpa Simpson.
You don't have to go into a home to pay somebody to wipe your ass. They'll come to your house and do it.
Oh, you're going to get one of them high-class nurses.
It's like online grocery delivery for wiping your ass.
Oh, really? Are you going to try to get me worked up on that, man? That massive loser behavior that is online grocery shopping? Good.
Nope.
I got my rant on that out of the way.
You're good.
So here we go, Mike. In honor of your growing family, we've got a shot of Jim Beam ready to go.
Always smooth.
Cheers, my brother.
Ooh, yummy.
All right, everybody.
I tell you, there's a lot of bottles of liquor out there with the word Kentucky on them, but Jim is just so reliable, it's not even funny.
Well, now you had told me that I guess the specifics in that regard is that for a whiskey to be called bourbon, it must come from Kentucky?
That's correct. It's kind of like if your liquor doesn't come from a certain part of Mexico, then it's mezcal instead of tequila. If it's tequila, I think it has to be made in the Plateau region of Mexico. Bourbon has to be made in Kentucky. Doesn't mean they all have to be brewed and distilled the same way, or whatever kind of finishing touch they want to put on it. But man, you can't mess with. There's a big difference to me between bourbon and all the various types of whiskeys that there are out there.
Here's an interesting thought about local beverages. You say only brewed, as it were, in certain areas.
Right.
I'm feeling that in the Pennsylvania region, perhaps does birch beer fall into that category?
Oh, I have no idea.
Does birch beer exist outside of the Pennsylvania area?
See, right there, you'd have to ask somebody that's got a whole bunch of...
Because there's A Treat makes birch beer.
Right.
Pennsylvania Dutch Company makes birch beer.
Who makes sarsaparilla?
There's the white birch beer.
Who makes that?
A Treat has it. I don't know if other companies do.
Are they Pennsylvania Dutch?
Well, they're Pennsylvania in general. A Treat originally, and they're back now, as it were.
Huh.
So, speaking of things that are back, now that we're back, yes. Well, first things first. Yes, we need you to hit some plugs, and in a couple of minutes, we're going to do something that has never been done, I don't believe, in the world of podcasting. So we're going to break new ground, Mike.
That is a bold claim.
This is a very bold claim, but we are going to, it is currently on, we're going to break the fourth wall all the way here as we record this, which means you're going to find out how long it takes my lazy ass to post it. But as we record this, it is 11:55 in the a.m., on Friday, August the 16th, 2019. And in 5 short minutes, we're ready to, live on the air here, attempt to order our tickets for AEW's third TNT telecast, which will be at the Leacourse Center in Philadelphia on October the 16th. Their previous shows sold out in, an average of about 7.4 minutes there, Mike?
Probably.
Instant sellouts for AEW for the new wrestling league that is absolutely going to be a long overdue alternative to the WWE. So they've sold out all their shows thus far instantly, pretty much. Their first TV taping in Washington, D.C. on October the 3rd sold out in about 5 minutes. Their pay-per-view sold out in about 5 minutes. So the over-under on this Philadelphia show is not much. So in a couple minutes here, we're going to see how that shit works out. It's either going to be you're going to hear two of the happiest, giddiest wrestling fans you ever heard in your life. Or you're going to hear two pissed off people. You might hear me screaming that their website sucks and blows all at the same time, because if it acts like the Iron Pigs website did for me earlier this afternoon and fucking kicks me out the minute I try to order something to where I lose my seats, I will, Mike, I won't do it, because this is a new laptop, a sexy new laptop, by the way. We have this new microphone set up. Everything seems to sound great, man. This thing is fucking nice, man.
Yeah, we're definitely upgraded.
Thank you for getting all of that shit.
While you're taking oxygen,
I should calm down. You do this. You do those, and we're.
I wanted to remind you
a few minutes away.
Well, before you jumped off of the AEW train,
I'm jacking it right now because of AEW. Well, here, get them plugs in, because we got to go over to the Leacourse website here.
Okay, yeah. So while we're online, you also catch this show on YouTube for now. More to come. You can find us on Twitter at Shoedogg M, and you can also check on this particular video link to our podcast. You're gonna see some stuff that I threw in there for you. One of those is this video that, if you haven't, I'm sure it's viral already, but if you haven't seen this video of Bill Hader doing impressions of people, and then his face slowly turns into that person's face, it's the trippiest shit that I've seen on YouTube in a while. And of course, I've fallen into some pretty deep YouTube holes for all sorts of wacky shit, and this was some of the wackiest shit. It really shook me for a minute.
You are killing on the hype for this.
So check it out.
My world.
Well, I'm going to tweet them, and they're going to be in the comments section on the YouTube link as well.
All right, we're getting close there. I want to have like the New Year's Eve ball countdown.
Do it.
Where's Dick Clark when you need him?
No, Carson Daly.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Didn't he take over?
No, Ryan Seacrest. Which makes my stomach turn, because Ryan Seacrest sold his soul to iHeartMedia.
I feel like Ryan Seacrest is like the Thanos of radio.
Yeah, he can just snap his fingers and make half of it disappear like he did to me?
Yeah, he's just here to absorb your company.
Is this the moment where I guess it officially counts that I no longer work there, that I'm saying things like this? No, I think that the moment that proved I no longer work for WZZO and iHeartRadio was the fact that this was the first time in 15 goddamn years I wasn't at Music Fest sitting under a tent having people register for Dorney Park passes.
Hey.
I feel like I've gotten loose of a shackle.
Yeah, I mean, who cares about some swag and some...
Yeah, the swag slowed down, and I mean, I didn't dare ask for too much because I wasn't doing too much. You know, my real job just fucking interfered. Oh, we're taking a moment to load. It's happening, Mike.
That's exciting.
Right at noon sharp, we're probably going to be in the queue. It's taking forever to load. The StubHub bots are going crazy. Find tickets. Here we go.
Is this where you get your arena chart?
Half the time they don't even... You almost have to have that open in a separate... Dude, the way this is going, I'm just putting in best available, and we're doing it. Because there might not be a second chance. I mean, look how slow it's going. I mean, it's thinking. It's putting us in the queue.
Isn't it crazy that in 2019, they still have to say no laser pens?
I think that's funny, because who the fuck had a laser pen?
Who's the jerk-off that still says, like, oh man, I can't wait for the Knicks game tomorrow. Gonna uncork this fucking laser pen on somebody's eyeball.
Well, even saying no cameras here. I mean, who the fuck has a quote-unquote camera that isn't just your cell phone anymore? Unless you bring in one of them big old zoom lens professional cameras. Well, I'll tell you what, man. This makes me think, oh, we're getting a load.
Okay, help me. How do you say the name of the place we're going to go?
Leacourse.
Thank you. I would have never guessed that.
Purchase by seat. Select price level. Best available. Give it to us.
Now's the moment of truth.
Back to 2. Best available. Give us 2, baby.
Oh,
here, please wait. Take up to 3 minutes. May take up to 3 minutes.
That might be the most infamous spinning icon you'll ever see.
Yeah, right?
How many...
Loading, please wait.
Yeah.
Loading, please wait.
Oh, how many times have you had...
You are behind 10,000 bots. Fuck you, not going to get any seats today.
How many times do you think you got fucked out of an online purchase because of the website loading? Probably more than once.
There we go, in the cart, $188. We got $90. We got ring-siders, baby. Well, lower level it looks like, lower level. No, reserved floor, row R, so it's probably near the back of the floor. Or do you want to try for a lower bleacher?
I mean, I don't give a shit.
Now we're not.
We don't need to do interference on any of these matches. We could be in the seats. I just don't want to be in the back.
Yeah, it's not selling out. If this gives us the big fist, Mike. See, now it's back to like,
I feel bad because I was almost kind of foreshadowing that something was going to fuck up with your clicking here.
You're like, oh, you want to release those tickets, do you, you cheap fuck? You're not willing to pay Tony Khan $95 to sit on the floor for his big all-elite program.
Well, there you go. Zoom in a little bit.
It's coming back.
Zoom in so I can see the row. We should do floor in case there's a brawl that goes through the crowd.
You're saying this now. We had floor.
Oh, well then.
We had floor 9 seconds ago.
Like I said, it's not make or break for me.
I mean, I'm not against paying half the price. All right, so for an example, here's like middle section. Reserve floor 104, 102.
Start great timing. Up to 3 minutes. There's your timer. And go. Can I do something while you're waiting for that?
Well, you're the one that said go back. You're like, we're not going to do a run-in. All right, well,
let's see what we...
I will get something.
I wasn't thinking about the fact that
we're not. Back to best available.
Do it.
If it's floor, it's floor. Great. All right, let's see here. What are you doing? It's like, fuck, yo.
Hey, I probably should have said something about the fact that you were using a Microsoft browser.
You can't blame the browser, man. The fucking website's busy.
Well, that's true, too.
It's not the browser.
Shame on them for not being set up for this level of traffic right now.
Nah, the Leocourse Center's probably never had anything that sold out this fast.
Do they bring the Globetrotters there, maybe?
Possibly.
I mean, it's a big building. It looks like it's pretty.
It's like a 10,000 seater.
Yeah, it's big. It's a basketball.
Back to best available. Just give us something.
Never got.
It's not a huge place. So I'm not. If we get in the lower back for $30, that's awesome too.
Yeah.
Well, it sold out in 5 minutes, and we gave up what we had.
Damn it.
I know how this goes, though. I mean, sometimes there's people with credit cards that come and go. You got to have a little persistence, but damn.
I should have never weighed in on that. You should have just saw tickets and bought them, just like that.
Yeah, well, search across multiple rows. I wonder if that'll help.
No idea, man.
Well, they did it.
Oh, look at. What's that say? Why did they have a counter?
Are they still in the?
They
never came out of our cart.
Get them!
High five!
Get them!
Success!
That was the greatest. Oh, what a last! We kicked out at 2.
Hold on. Where's my fucking cart back?
Click on this shit right here. Oh, it's loading right now.
Yeah.
Down there's your little spin of death.
Oh my God! We did kick out at 2.
You made it.
There they are.
Get this motherfucker. Checkout button.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. That makes it even sweeter.
You are locked in. I think, do they stop the timer when you hit checkout, or are you going to have to punch
I got to punch
shit?
everything in that quick. That's fine.
Oh, you better hurry up.
I don't have a customer.
Man, that was miraculous.
That was miraculous.
Neither of us were thinking about this little bar down here.
You just saw it. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on there?
That was amazing.
I got to focus my cheer.
Well, you're trying to choose a shitty password, it says.
I don't give a damn.
It says poor.
I'm not worried if the fucking Leocourse... Nobody's going to hack the goddamn Leocourse Center.
Well, there you go. You just got a good rating. 2 minutes and 45 seconds until these tickets...
I am not going to have tickets time out twice today.
...are gone.
There's no goddamn way that shit's happening. Don't be memorizing my fucking credit card number.
Wow,
it's probably saving in your information now.
You gave me way too much credit.
I'm gonna have to clear your cash when I'm done here, so you don't have access to my massive, overwhelming bank account.
I know. Do your shit. A minute and a half remain.
The heat is on.
Oh, we're running.
The heat is on.
Does that say accept?
The tickets are on.
And then you have to go down to the heat is on.
What did we do? Please accept or decline fan shield. Please wait while we process your order. There it is.
Oh!
Email to me.
May I say, with a minute to go.
Hachi Machi.
Not bad at all.
We did that shit.
So that happened.
Yeah, like you said, we kicked out at 2, man. Just a little bit of fucking drama there at the end. A whole lot of drama. It's like, it's sold out. Hey, what's that at the bottom there?
Yeah, that we foisted on ourselves totally.
You know what's funny? That is the same as the First Union Center's website works. And I absolutely have hated the fact that they don't remove items from your cart. So, like, if you're looking at a bunch of different tickets, you have to then manually go back and throw the old ones away.
Right.
You know, you can't just cancel them, as it were. So that just saved our ass, dude.
By a minute. That's, talk about taking it to an ass hair.
Well, and that is why that is podcast history, boys and girls.
I feel like we just won like a triathlon or something.
We just fucking we scored with moments to spare and thinking we fucking blew it. Tickets to the now 5-minute sellout of AEW's third TV taping in Philadelphia on October the 16th.
I think the real
Booyah!
MVP of this was that wireless mouse.
Yeah.
Because imagine if that website was dicking around and you were trying to do the little thing.
Oh my God! I wouldn't have been able to enter the info anywhere near fast enough. I'd have been stumbling over my own fingers.
I would have been hyperventilating, dude. I was already at the point where I didn't feel like I could sit here anymore while that was going on. I had to stand up and get in like I was like I went all in at a poker game or something.
No pun intended.
Well, yeah. I forgot they did both. They did in and out.
So is it fair to assume I'm not gonna look it up in live time, but I mean fair to assume Boston sold out just as quickly just now?
Is that the one before?
Yes, I believe they went on sale simultaneously today.
I don't know.
No reason it didn't.
We can check.
All right, I'll let you do that on the side over there.
Okay.
Well, here's a question for you as well on the side. Mm-hmm. Now, because you were very, very understandably trepidatious the last time we recorded a show earlier this year about the success potential for All Elite Wrestling. Well, here we go. What do you think now?
They're gonna obviously shoot off like a fucking rocket. I mean,
But how long will it burn?
It's like a slingshot that people have been pulling back for weeks, except it's been years, and who the fuck knows? Who knows if you even got the slingshot pointed the right way? You might crash right into the wall. They might have a month of fucking killer ratings, and then just like everything else that we watch and consume, it'll taper off because humans we're very, I don't want to talk bad about us, but we are fickle as a species. People going nuts with writing letters to producers and writers and stuff, trying to get them to change season finales around, and it's just way too much dedication. So, I'm glad they have money.
Yeah, and they're willing to spend it.
Because if they're going to come at it like a real indie company that finally has money, then they keep that spirit the whole time. It should be pretty badass. The only thing that they have to do is decide if they're going to be the kind of show that basically is meant to pump one guy.
I think they've done a pretty good job of spreading around the talent pool.
It looks like a variety show almost.
Yeah.
You have different types of matches, not just different people in the matches. If you're WWE and you want to take the moral high ground and say, well, we're not going to be this gory abomination that we were in the 90s, well, I'm sorry, but you have Randy Orton getting hard-weighed by Brock Lesnar on live pay-per-view.
Those were harsh.
Dumping buckets of blood all over the ring, and then you're going to talk shit on somebody else doing blood? It's stupid. It's a pointless argument to have.
Yeah,
it's like me being to you, being like, hey, man, I don't know what you're doing lately, but you need to hit the gym.
Yeah, no shit.
You'd be like, well, look at you.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Yeah, exactly. It's a stupid debate. If we're adults, you might say that you want to be PG because you have children in your audience, but the children are spending their parents' money. So if the parents like something more where they're going to want to go to shows and buy merch, that's just going to make you more profitable.
Hey, here, let's, on that note, let's give a thumbs up because I know your mom did it and my mom did it. Let's give a thumbs up to the moms and dads who actually took their kids to wrestling, who could give a flying shit about going to the wrestling matches.
Oh, yeah. My mom
was a hero for that.
My mom never was shy. The only bad experience I had was when we went to see a show at Stabler Arena, and there was like a legit fucking blizzard outside.
Yeah, I was there as well. I nearly died on the drive home. You know why I nearly died on the drive home?
Uh-huh.
This won't mean much to the listeners, although it just might, but Doug was driving.
Oh, very good.
So that should give you all you need to know, knowing the conditions of the road that night.
That thing was designed to fail then, but we didn't know there was going to be a blizzard. I remember that was the night where we got Cactus Jack, wasn't it?
Exactly. And he joked about the storm. Yeah, he wrestled Gold Dust, I believe.
Yeah, but he was. It was during that run where he would, revolve the three personas around.
Yeah. He was doing a little bit of everything. Yeah, it was definitely Cactus Jack that night.
But yeah, no, you're right, because thanks to my mom too, because my dad fucking hated and probably still hates wrestling with a passion.
He'd have no part of that shit. Yeah, my dad's the same way.
He's like got the Wilford Brimley on Family Guy attitude about that. He wants everything to be.
You can't pretend to have a legitimately competitive sport and then it's not actually competitive.
But it is competitive. You don't think if you go on a fucking TV show as a cast member,
everything's competition,
that you're not competing against the other people?
Right? If you're a fucking movie actor, you're competing against other actors for the role. I mean, going back to any era, I mean, now it's a little tough because they change so often. But the person who is the world heavyweight champion should still feel legitimate pride, because that still means that you are considered at least one of, if not the best in the business. Sure. So being named the world heavyweight champion is still a fucking accolade that should be well respected. Unless you're David Arquette or Vince Russo.
You know what, man? I would love to have a real belt. I would wear that thing fucking everywhere.
I have a belt. Should I post a picture on the Twitter and whatnot of me with the Brawl Under the Bridge title from Pittsburgh?
Yeah, you should. We can put that on our Twitter page.
That's exciting. Yeah.
Wait,
man.
What's the correct verbiage? The kids know this. We don't, because we're not kids. Do you put something on your Twitter page, or do you merely tweet it?
I prefer to go with the variant that the old folks use and call it the Twitter box.
What about twittering? I bet you people
No. You've heard me use this one, man. No, I mean, the thing I want to know is, if the past tense is to have twatted.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's thought of that before.
What are the various tenses of to tweet? I have tweeted. I will tweet.
Hold on. I want to tell you a funny story real quick. This is a total sidebar.
I just tweeted in my pants.
Listen, I was talking to someone who is from the UK, and do you know what they were telling me? Not only is the C word like totally acceptable and highly used over there.
Oh, they love it.
But the T word is also highly acceptable and used over there.
Yes, except it would be pronounced twat.
I don't care. It's perfect.
They love it.
It's poetry.
We're in the poetry.
We're in the wrong yard.
Hey man, I spent 10 days in jolly old England. I mean, I loved it there, man. And the thing that I find hilarious is in England, it is the northern people who are our equivalent of the southern rednecks. Like the people that live in the southern half of England look at the northerners as the toothless hillbillies that like eat the spotted dick and stuff like that. I am positive it's this way.
Okay.
And I realized that they're like the equivalent of, they're the disparaged.
Wow. Your cultural
I know all about it.
wisdom on the UK is really I'm surprised you don't speak in a British accent just for shits and giggles.
Have you ever visited the UK?
But I'm not going to talk like a northerner. You're so passionate today.
Well, no, but like the northerners are also like the cockneys and like, so just like in our world, the southerners are the ones that speak in the ridiculous accents. In England, it's the northerners who speak in the ridiculous accent.
Yeah, that I have a reference point for, because when you say cockney, I always think Michael Caine.
The great Michael Caine, you're goddamn right.
Master Wayne.
His Batman role, his Austin Powers work, did you see Harry Brown?
Ooh. Where he was a Marine, and then he got really old, and then the wrong people fucked with him.
Old man goes batshit.
That was
brilliant.
Terrific.
Yes, it was.
And I thought that nobody would top Gran Torino for Old Man Goes Batshit. I wonder if we're ever going to talk like that here in the States.
Like the Brits?
No, where we're like, we distinguish people by region. I mean, we kind of do it now. Well, yeah, but we're more specific about it. We're like,
Yankees.
You have a Long Island accent. No, you have a Staten Island accent. Like, no. Do you think we'll ever reach the point where people are like, oh, this guy must be a fucking southerner.
Well, the thing that's funny is, like, those of us who live in Pennsylvania will say, I mean, now Pittsburgh does have a bit of an accent. You know, I feel that we don't have a, quote, accent. I sound like I sound like.
Yeah, you know, you take what you get.
I mean, I can do accents. I mean, I can do one accent.
Well, and here's the other thing.
That reminds me of something.
Oh, what's your accent?
There was a segment you wanted to do. We're taking a hard left right here, right now.
What?
There was something, if you can get it together fairly quickly. Do you remember something we wanted to read that I would have been in character to perform?
Oh, was it?
Speaking of accents, well, don't, you know.
I know what it was.
It involves the voice that I like to do.
Gosh, yeah, I think we'll
And that was,
pull it off.
and that was where we're really lucky that Mike had actually finished all of his water, because otherwise he would have dumped it right on his phone, right then and there. And then you would have heard Mike unload a stream of expletives, the likes of which you've never heard in your godforsaken life. It would have made George Carlin blush in the middle of doing the 7 dirty words.
I don't know. I'm trying to cut back a little bit.
Cut back on the bad language?
Yeah, I'm trying not to just let it slip out every which way. Like,
That's
there's no reason when I'm eating dinner to be like, hey, can you pass me the fucking butter knife?
Well, you got kids around.
Yeah, well, even if they're not
including an
here.
8-year-old who chastises you if you say hell.
Southerners say that shit.
So, how we coming on that?
Oh, by the way,
Is this something we should have prepared for more? Because can we share reading off this at the same time?
You need to just take a moment to put yourself in that special place you need to go to do that voice.
I'm in the special place at what? More Jim Beam? No, we'll do that after the show.
This shit isn't on here anywhere.
Okay, well, maybe we'll try it for next week.
Yeah, we'll throw
for
it
our next show. We got something.
Throw that in the
we'll do for
lunchbox and bring it home.
All right. Well, how about we do this? Since you're not finding that thing we're looking at for next week, there is another video you said you wanted to show me online, or do you want to go for this one here?
Yeah, no, I actually, when you're talking about people, like when we say, oh, you sound like you're from the East Coast or whatever, I was thinking about what words people use for shit, right? Because if you're not from...
colloquialisms.
If you go west of here, it's pop. Or if you go to the south, they have all kinds of cutesy names for biscuits and pancakes and shit down there. They're like, oh, you want a tall bobby of griddles? Like, where do they come up with this shit, you know?
A tall body of griddles? Is that like a
tall bobby?
A tall bobby?
I don't know. That's my attempt at being a Southerner.
I believe that's legit. If not, we're going to open a fucking diner called Tall Bobby's.
Tall Bobby and his griddles. Yeah. No, but I was thinking
Bear
like
griddles.
There's, you know, we all use universal words, obviously the easy ones, but then we use words, we have names for shit that we all agree with. And I've come to find out from reading that there's actually a bunch that we take for granted that are trademarked.
Okay.
Just everyday shit that you wouldn't even... You're like, oh, I'm going to go wipe my ass. And then somebody's like, ooh, you forgot to put the trademark symbol next to ass.
So are you trying to say that some of the things that we're saying right here, right now, could... Even though we have avoided using any music because of the overlords of YouTube, you're trying to say that using some common everyday language here could still get us in some kind of godforsaken legal hot water?
Well, yeah, there's so many snares for us to get caught in.
Uh-oh.
But some of the ones that I was surprised to learn that are actually trademarked, meaning they don't have full ownership over it, but they're entitled to something, right? That's what a trademark is. Basically, you get you some slice. You get a little So some of the ones that really surprised me, do you know what is actually trademarked? Bubble wrap. What the fuck else are you going to call it? If that's not bubble wrap, I want to know, what's bubble wrap? That's trademarked. Another one that surprised me, jet ski.
Okay, that's believable.
Well, no, but so what am I going to ride tomorrow? Am I going to go out on the lake with my
that's an example.
rear propulsion flotation device?
That is an example. I don't know the legal term of it, of a trademark becoming the common term for it. An example, Band-Aids.
What about crock pot?
Is that trademarked?
Yeah.
But anybody would call any slow cooking device that you buy
a crock pot.
Right?
Why wouldn't you call it that?
Like I said, Band-Aids. If you get Sam's Choice brand adhesive strips, you're still going to say,
Here, I want to hear you talk
I'm
your way.
getting a box of Band-Aids.
I want to hear you talk your way out of this one. Popsicle.
That's interesting.
What is a popsicle if it's not a fucking popsicle?
A frozen ice delight.
You know they wouldn't say
feeding.
delight. You know they wouldn't use that word.
Sounded good.
That was your term. What about...
Who wouldn't want a frozen delight?
Here's one that surprised me because it's not a product. Realtor. As in the person who sold you your house, the realtor.
Well, who the hell has that trademarked?
If you know who trademarks it, please throw it in the YouTube comments or tweet at us. Because I haven't a fucking clue.
Well, I'll give you a better question then, which fits into trademarks. There are currently 2 legal ads running.
Okay.
For lawsuits against Monsanto. Mm-hmm. Now, one of them simply says, have you gotten cancer from a popular weed killer? Whereas the other one goes out and says, did Roundup give you cancer? Do you want to sue Monsanto? So how the fuck did the one lawyer pay the rights to use the legal name and the other one didn't? Like, what the fuck?
You have to name a defendant in your suit.
Very, very, it's just a very curious choice of words why one would name drop the company and the other one would avoid it.
Hey, only a country as lazy as we are would be like, I don't have time for all this shit. Just give me the shit that they spray out of helicopters, and I'll use that to tame my yard. Well, this is what you get.
Some straight old school DDT.
We're gonna have an ethical conflict if AEW on TNT is brought to you by Roundup.
I highly doubt that. I'm gonna say
we're gonna be on film supporting it.
There is slim to none chance of that shit happening.
You never know. You never know what these con fellows
all of their ads are going to be for Jaguars sweatshirts.
Yes.
Jaguars season tickets.
Oh, I almost broke out into a really racially insensitive impersonation right there. I'm glad I stopped.
Well,
I pumped the brakes right away.
Well, if we're going to go somewhat down that road, that sounds bad. I think that Shad Khan, Tony Khan's dad, should get the fucking acting and the wrestling bug so he can come out and be like the new school Iron Sheik because he's kind of got that Middle Eastern mustache. He can curl it up real nice and look all evil, wear the curly-toed boots.
He's not gonna.
And then just like the WWE, there can be a power struggle for the heart of the company between the father and the son. Wouldn't this be mind-blowingly innovative professional wrestling programming? I just booked the first year of AEW. You're welcome.
I think you're fired. And
do it right.
And
do it right.
You got to tell me
Come on.
that this guy is gonna sell out his billionaire legacy to have a gimmick.
No, not at all. I just thought it sounded fucking grand, though.
Come on, that's ridiculous.
Well, of course it was.
Nevertheless,
but wouldn't it be hilarious though? Still, he just comes out and he's like, "I'm tired of you blowing all my money. My fortune is gone because of your silly wrestling shit. Now I will kick your ass in the cage."
Oh, I'm so glad you did
and All Out 4.
I'm glad you took one for the team and did the impression that I wasn't willing.
Well,
to
if since I didn't get the opportunity to break out my Bernie Sanders, which I guess we need to save that as a fucking a cliffhanger for next week. We're going to have a segment called Ask Bernie Sanders. That ought to be grand.
If you do a Bernie Sanders, I'm just going to throw out a proactive RIP headphone users real quick when Bernie comes out.
Are you trying to say my voice is in some way grating?
It just has a little bit of ablation to it. It'll take a sheet of glass off of the room is what I'm saying. It's very...
I don't like your tone, Mike.
All right.
I would prefer that you would treat the second-ranked Democratic candidate with more respect than that.
See, that's the problem in politics.
You wouldn't feel this way if you were getting a $15 an hour minimum wage.
That's the problem with politics is we have such cartoonish motherfuckers that we're dealing with that everybody gets sucked up into the cartoonishness of them. Like,
are you trying to say I'm some kind of caricature?
Yeah, everybody is. Why is it always like that? Why is it always some goofy motherfucker that...
Down with evil corporations.
Yeah, but why do they have to be like some guy in a street waving a cardboard sign about it? Like, why can't they just be...
Look at me. I look like a homeless on the side of the road carrying a cardboard sign.
Oh, you're agreeing with me that it's scripted.
What do you mean? Politics as a whole?
I think publicly aired debates and speeches and shit like that are 100% scripted always. And I think that's why people don't... That's why, like, almost half the people who could vote did not vote in the last election.
That's not entirely true, because I can guarantee you that if you look over the past 3 years at moments where Donald Trump was either on a script or not on a script, you will see very vividly that you get both worlds of Donald J. Trump.
Damn, I never even realized how easily we were going to pump you up for some Trumping. Because you're like my dad. It's like whenever I'm near either one of you, I'm like, oh, I almost have a mental countdown going.
Well,
how many more comments until he just flies into a Trump hole? Are you going to fly into a Trump hole?
Well, I had a Trump hole planned.
Okay.
But it's not so much a Trump hole, it's a hole against Trumpers. But
strictly the fan base.
Yes.
Going after the audience, always a good idea when you're a podcaster.
But first, the moment.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to sound like Jim Cornette. If you're listening to us right now and you fucking wear a MAGA hat, you can fucking delete our download and not come the fuck back. Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
Yeah, take your radio in the bathtub with you. Make sure it's turned on first.
Yeah, they'd be so dumb. They'd be trying to listen to a fucking podcast on the radio. Jethro, I'm trying to get that Shoedogg experience.
Yeah.
Show, program.
Hey, what's the radio channel for that Bluetooth station?
I thought a podcast was a procedure you got done by the doctor.
Some of them probably do. Well, okay. Then how could you at this point even afford to switch any of your animus for DJT towards his fan base? You must be so exhausted pushing out all this hatred.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
We're gonna become somber for a minute because this is the setup on this is very legitimate.
Okay.
Now we are at this point a couple of weeks removed from the
I'm kind of intrigued now.
From the awful back-to-back mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio. 29 victims, actually 30 if you include the killer himself who died in Dayton. Now, I went to bed on Saturday night knowing that 19 people were dead, 20 people were dead in El Paso, 19. Woke up in the morning to find out the rest had died in Dayton. And I entered a zone for the first time in my life. I became somewhat creative. I had something I wanted to write. And so I bring to you... Mike, can you somehow get like a little...
Oh, you want some haiku drums?
Give me a little jazz beat.
I can do that.
This is Shoedogg's Poetry Jam. Sad. 29 innocent people shot down. Sad. Our nation's president is a clown. Sad. That was a fucking haiku right there.
Was it? Let me count the syllables.
It's not written there.
Oh, damn it. Well, now I'm never going to be able to count them.
That's because I have memorized my opus. I didn't need to have that written down.
Why did we have to get somber for that?
It flowed. Well, because, I mean, you're saying the word sad a lot, so I think it's kind of a downer.
It's beyond sad.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Well, the situation is beyond sad. So, obviously, I posted that on Facebook, and needless to say, the Trumpers got real ramped up real quick. Ended up, the funny thing about that, though, it's fun to troll these people, because I ended up watching people who do not know each other, but that they're mutual friends of me, start ripping into one another. And that's fun. That is joyous.
That's just the kind of shit that Facebook was, let's not do it. I got real tempted just now to jump into a conspiracy theory about Facebook and politics, but I'm not going there.
No.
Because the lovely people at Facebook who own YouTube would never do that.
All right. So, in a bit of a nutshell, I'm going to throw some numbers out at you.
Don't throw them at me.
They're not that sharp.
Okay.
They're blunted and made of large foam.
Foam numbers.
Foam rubber numbers, baby.
Yeah, they're the foam hands with different numbers.
That's like a sex toy.
Foam 3.
I got me a foam rubber number.
Foam would rip your shit up. Especially
it would be scratchy.
If it was that good, durable, plasticky foam, and it didn't feel like cotton candy, but it felt like a fucking scraping pad for your car or whatever. Yeah, a grill brush. That's what that foam feels like.
My head is down because somehow we did manage to take the discussion of my sad Donald Trump poem and manage to get to sex toys within about 4 sentences.
Go ahead. Listen. I know. No, this is important. We'll get somber one more time.
We don't have to get somber again. This is where I get mad.
I'll get somber. I know how you feel. I have a rough time wrapping my head around the things that a lot of people in today's world are willing to believe. To me, it seems like it's just so dangerously easy to just start believing shit almost at random, and you just become ironclad to it in like the snap of your fingers.
Well,
so for you to get pissed off at those types of people, I think it's reasonable.
Well, yeah, ironically...
I definitely wanted to slap the shit out of a few of them.
Well, ironically, that's pretty much exactly what you described.
Okay.
So here's where this unnamed Trumper, although I told you whom it was, came into play. The first comment on the post was that during Obama's presidency, he says 2008 to 2016, that 24 mass shootings happened without any sort of a measuring stick as to what the phrase mass shootings means.
Well, haven't you heard? Obama fucked everything up.
And then he took everybody's guns away.
Oh, yeah. He was a total theocratic operative from Kenya.
Okay, so that was that number.
Yeah.
Now, also, not even discounting the fact that that's over a full 8-year period. He then came back with, during Trump's era, there had been 10 mass shootings. Again, no criteria what counts a mass shooting. Although, ironically, if you were to multiply over the length of time, that would at best put him at about equal frequency. But either way, and then he tops it off literally with the word facts. Facts, okay. Well, I brought him some facts. I went to a list of mass shootings in America in the last however many years the list was for. Now, this was an exhaustive list. Basically, anything that involved more than 2 or 3 people getting shot is a mass shooting as far as this listing went. Now, I decided to arbitrarily set the mass shooting at 10. So we're only counting the fucking big ones, not the dozens of 4, 5, or 6 little petty mass shootings. We're only going for the big Megillah. So using 10 as our base point.
Hold on. I would like to quickly throw in for the record that I do not endorse any mass shooting as petty. Go on ahead. Go ahead.
Well, correct.
Yeah.
Well, correct. Which, again, making where they get these numbers from ridiculous.
Okay. Where do they get the numbers from?
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Obviously fucking nowhere.
Totally made up.
Because the statistics I got, now in the complete interest of fairness, as I told you, these numbers they did come off of Wikipedia. However, the Wikipedia page was a well-cited, obviously, list of mass shootings in America over the last 20, 30 years. Each one listed, followed by the number of deaths in the situation, followed by, several links to news stories and whatnot. Well, clearly an awful lot more basis than his magical number of 24 and 10 came from. So the statistics that this showed, using 10 victims again as the benchmark, puts us at both at 9. So during the Obama administration, there were 9 shootings with over 10 deaths. During the Trump administration, a third of the period of time thus far, there have also been 9 mass shootings. Now, again, this is backed up material of 10 shootings or more. So I just want to know which Fox News show or which tweet from Donald Trump this absolutely, completely facetious and false statistic that apparently the Trumpers are running around waving in everybody's face who will listen comes from. That, Mike, to put a bow on my little rant, that, Mike, is fake fucking news.
Oh, man. Well, the problem that we have, I think, kind of is bigger than that. So 2 things I want everybody to be able to do eventually is to stop automatically associating how the economy performs under a president, and I want them to stop automatically associating whether the country is at war or whether there's a lot of violence and crime happening while someone is president. Because those 2 things have been on a wave throughout civilized history in this country.
Right.
The president gets way too much blame and also way too much credit for the shit that happens on their watch.
Sure.
And the other problem that we have, like you were talking about people pulling statistics out of their ass.
That are completely made up.
When you do it the old school journalist way, if you didn't want to argue about Wikipedia, you would get your ass to a library, you'd sit in front of a fucking microfilm machine,
you read
and you would
yourself.
find every morning newspaper that was reporting on the shooting that happened the night before by a local reporter.
Yep.
And that would be about as close as you can get to a primary source, because a primary source, if you you can't go ask the people who got shot to death about it. So your best bet is a secondary source. But what you've got is you've got people in this country and throughout the world, in Russia, in a bunch of other countries, I'm sure, who they think that source that's your best available, they think they're going to call that fake news. So what they do is they distort the known truth to the point where it's unrecognizable even to you just by calling everything bullshit. And then you got people who are willing to take it a step further, and they will actually go up to people who had family members killed in a massacre and say, you fucking made this shit up.
Dude, I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what I eventually threw in this asshole's face. Because he basically insinuated that the list of killings on Wikipedia, again, all well cited, were somehow made up. And I went off on him for that very fucking reason. I'm like, you are just a complete goddamn paint-sniffing, fucking headbanging against the wall moron.
You can't...
You probably have tried to fuck a porcupine, you goddamn inbred asshole.
Oh, that would be so rough.
That's right. Well, that's what kind of fucking morons vote for Donald J. fucking Trump.
What if the porcupine liked it at first, and you were getting all into fucking this porcupine, and then right when you're about to push off, it fucking nails you right in the junk with a couple spears or whatever they're called.
Well, that's sort of the problem, though, because you realize what happens when they ejaculate, right? I mean, a few of them fuckers go flying like shrapnel. They come those fucking spikes everywhere.
Oh, really?
You get one in your eye, that'd be a hell of a risk to take.
God.
I bet they'd be tight, though.
So you got to get a couple porcupines that have been going at it for the whole morning.
All right, well...
and use them as a weapon when, like... Somebody tries to break into your house in the middle of the night, like, oh, little did you know my porcupines were about to come. You're fucked now, buddy. You'll never try to steal packages off my porch again.
There may be no recovery from this, but we do have to watch this video at least before we wrap up. But while we're talking about sexual activities with weird wild beasts, how about head from an anteater?
No.
It'd be like the idiot who gets his dick stuck in the vacuum. Not that I know from experience.
No, I mean, I'll freely admit I don't need that much room to work with. Those things are what, like 2-foot snouts on them?
I have
3
no
foot snouts?
fucking idea. I've never had an anteater blow me before, or even met an anteater.
Oh, well, you got to take some of your time that you spend fighting these political battles and go
to the zoo.
Expand your horizons a little bit.
Check out an anteater. So there's a video here you want to show me and get my hot take on before we wrap things up this week.
Yes, the one that I mentioned, I'm going to put a link to in the comments section on YouTube. I'm going to tweet it out as soon as we're broadcasting.
Now, once you've heard this show, please comment on the show either directly under the video on YouTube, or is the email still Shoedogg and Mike podcast at gmail.com?
It is, and I was almost going to push that totally off on you and be like, send Brian hate mail. Tell Shoedogg to go F himself.
And pictures of your tits. Well, this has been fun.
It's been fun. You were really fired up today. I appreciate you bringing the energy.
Yeah, we had our A game. This is the kind of show we've been ready to do for you guys for a long fucking time, and now we're starting to get there with it.
Oh, also, Shoedogg, you're along with this, I think. I wanted to get...
As long as it involves no physical activity.
Right. I usually start there and build.
That's a given when it involves myself.
Exactly. But no, I thought it'd be cool.
You're like more than a flight of stairs. We can't invite Shoedogg.
If anybody that listens wants to send us shit to hang up in the background, we will send you a picture of it hanging in the podcast booth. Because we made a booth. We're going to roll with this booth. We're going to kill it in this booth. We might as well deck the fucking thing out.
Yeah, we need at least some kind of a backdrop or a chroma key that we can just insert crazy objects into.
So suggestions, or if you actually want to straight up send some tchotchkes, Shoedogg is an excellent housemaid. He will wash them. He will take any debris off of them, stains, and then you'll get to see it right behind him as he rails the
Mike,
system.
I don't want to be a negative Nancy about that, but I mean, you live in a house with 2 young children. The odds are just as well that tomorrow this laptop gets thrown right off the balcony and
nobody's gonna
go back to square one all over again.
Nobody's gonna send us anything valuable. It's just gonna be tchotchkes. We'll get you
tchotchkes can be valuable.
We'll get you. Here's what I'll do. We'll go on we'll do not a GoFundMe, but what do they call it when you get people to vote on something? A petition.
Right.
What's the website that does the petitions?
I have no fucking idea.
MoveOn.org or something? We're going to get a bunch of signatures to get you turned into a Funko Pop. Yes.
it seems the standards of becoming a Funko Pop are rather low. In fact, I'm willing to bet you money, honest to God. No, you know what? If there's not, there should be. Just like they do the My M&Ms.
Yeah.
They should definitely make. They charge a fucking fortune to do it, but they could make where you could do a custom. Design your custom Funko Pop right online and they pump it out for you.
I'm with you.
They might already do it. Again,
with
but it's
you.
probably hundreds of dollars to do one of them. So about this video.
Okay, here we go.
Let's do this for our final act of the evening.
Okay, now I alluded to this earlier. There's not just one video. However, I am going to show you my two favorites. They're both pretty short, and you're going to get wigged out a little bit if you're anything like me. So this one is Bill Hader on a talk show of some sort doing his impression of Tom Cruise. Are you ready? And this is why you have to see it and not just hear it, but the folks will be able to hear
It
it.
seemed like every movie I saw in the last several
Letterman.
months, you were in it. And good for you. That's just
thanks, buddy. Thanks.
And I was wondering about the one, the Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder.
Great movie.
Tom Cruise. You're working with Tom Cruise. What was that experience like?
It was amazing. Like, we got to dance together. That was amazing. We had, like, when you do a movie, you do table reads, where, like, all the actors get together.
At the beginning of the production.
Beginning, before anything, you get together and you read through the script. And so it's like, all these heavyweights, like, and then Tom Cruise walks in.
My God.
And even those guys are like, whoa, and he's super stoked to be there. Just like, yeah, oh, boom.
Are you getting tweaked out yet?
He's like,
Are you looking at his face?
just immediately
When
excited.
he definitely embodied him.
When he walks
No.
in the room.
Look at his face.
And so he comes over and he
trying to
sits
say
next
he
to
looks
me.
like
and
Bill
he's
Hader's
briefed
face.
On some
Yeah.
of the supporting guys.
Wait.
But
Look at it.
he was like trying to place me, So he sat down next to me. He's like,
Yeah, no, you're exactly.
He looks like
Yes.
Tom Cruise, dude.
Yeah, the minute he makes a
I don't know,
facial
thanks.
expression,
I look
trying to
forward
look
to-
like Cruise, he embodies him deadly. You're right.
Is that not freaky?
pretty deadly accurate?
Is that not freaky?
I'm not sure it was worth an hour of build-up, but it was pretty cool.
Now, hold on. I got
what
one
she,
more
also
for you.
what she said.
This one ought to seal the deal for you with what I know about you and your entertainment. This was Conan, not Letterman, but equally good programming.
Our 2-year-old right now, I'll say, how old are you? And she goes, I'm 4.5, which is my older sister's 4.5. And I go, no, you're not 4.5. And then she grabs my face and goes, 4.5.
That was also kind of a Schwarzenegger a little bit.
Yeah. I'm 4.5, father. You got to get out of here.
Look at his face.
Get out of this. The bombing there.
Oh wow, yeah,
Come on. You got to go.
that is creepy.
That's my point,
I need to
dude.
pull up on now.
There's a bunch of these.
I love Schwarzenegger as
He
a
really
baby.
does
He's
embody
so much
those
fun.
fucking people.
So there you go. Now you finally buy into it. You see what I'm talking about.
Bill Hader's a ridiculously perfect impressionist.
We'll throw the Arnold Schwarzenegger bit from Conan and the Tom Cruise from Letterman in the comments.
I will admit, I mean, it wasn't, well, actually, it was sort of knock your socks off when you see the both of them and realize that, I mean, you can argue with, like, Tom Cruise that he just bears the facial resemblance, but then with the Arnold as well, it's like he morphs. He literally looks like he goes through a little mini CGI thing real quick.
It's really creepy. So how the fuck did he do it with his face?
Because he's a master of it. Because some people just have however ridiculously specific of a skill as it is. And you said practice, practice, practice. Looking in the mirror. Practicing every facial tick of that person.
Okay, I want to hear somebody on Twitter tell me...
Don't I look like Bernie when I do the Bernie voice?
If that is legit him forcing his face like that on Tom Cruise and Schwarzenegger, is he not the best impressionist ever? Because to me, he'd fucking have to be. That would be so nutty if he's actually
He can train his muscles.
How the
to
fuck
do
did he
every
make his
little...
nose wider to look like Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
Well, you're gonna have to go watch it in slow-mo for about an hour later, I guess. All right. Well, you're gonna go fall into a Bill Hader hole.
I might.
Sounds pretty good.
I might even take my socks off.
And I think we're gonna wrap this fine return to programming
Wrap it.
up.
Pound it. Good
Pound
job.
it. We're going to go have a shot. We're going to celebrate our great success of floor seats for AEW's third TV show in October.
Yes, we're going to keep this rolling, though. You and I will be back soon.
We are going to be back soon. We've ironed out, we've said this before in similar fashions and been wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel we've ironed out virtually all of the kinks as of this moment.
Yes.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, hey, y'all take it easy. We'll be back soon. Tell your friends if they have an hour or so of time that's worth wasting with anybody, waste it with us. It's Shoedogg and Mike.
So you.